Hello, welcome to episode number 504, I believe, yes, of the TEW 28 Challenge Run. This is going to be the ECW Go Home show for April week 1, 2024. Tonight we have a tag team main event. Julia teams up with Liv Morgan to face off with... No, Florence teams up with Liv Morgan to face off with Julia and Hikaru Shida in the main event. Plus we've got a Bloodline face-to-face with Roman Reigns and the Usos to kick off the night. We also have the other Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match. And yeah, a whole lot more. Without any more further ado, let's jump straight into the show. The show kicks off with, footage of Lashley and MVP arriving to the building. And then, him and MVP are talking to each other. They're gassing up Ronnie Hughes because tonight he's in that Fatal 4-Way against Nakamura, Ali, and Joe Hendry. And then all of a sudden Damian Priest flies in out of nowhere. He charges Lashley into a car. And then they brawl. They're on site. And then security has to come break them up. You got the other members of the grand jury there. The other members of the Hurt Business there. And MVP's like, hey, you want to get the jump on the Almighty. Apparently you're not waiting until Sunday night to get the jump on the Almighty. Well, how about tonight? Your two idiots here team up with the two members of the Hurt Business who are free, that being Damon Kemp and the almighty Bobby Lashley. So yeah, later on tonight, tag team match. Grand Jury's Emerson Frost and Ken Kobain against the Hurt Business's Bobby Lashley and Damon Kemp. Out comes Roman Reigns, ECW Championship. And he goes, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Acknowledge me. So here we stand. 5 days. 5 days away from the biggest WrestleMania of all time, WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia. And on that night, wise man, what's going to happen? He goes, well, my tribal chief, you are set to defend the ECW Championship against your cousins Jimmy and Jay Uso. Because that's right. You see, Jimmy and Jay, both of them, used to be in the bloodline, used to rule with an iron fist alongside their tribal chief. But somewhere along the way, the dynamics of this family, they appear to have been a bit all messed up. For some reason, Jimmy and Jay think they're better off alone than with their tribal chief. Unless, let's call that what it is, it's all Jimmy's fault, you see. Because Jimmy, he was my guy, Jay was out for a year. I had Jimmy by my side. Jimmy was my favorite cousin. I don't call him that for nothing. But then Jay came back. And Jay planted those seeds of doubt inside the head of Jimmy. And now Jimmy put those seeds of doubt in the head of Jay, and Jimmy did what he did to me back in October. And now here we are. Jimmy and Jay, they've eaten each other alive. Even then, their twin brotherhood, they share flesh, they share blood, wasn't enough to keep them together. All for the sake of what, wise man? For the sake of being ECW champion, my tribal chief. Because that's right. Not just for the sake of being ECW champion, but for being the head of the table. For providing for this bloodline, for providing for this family. The idea of being me drove twins apart after nearly 40 years. That's just how I be in this family, wise man. So I hear both my cousins, they're ready to give me a rundown tonight. Well, I say, whichever cousin wants to make a name for himself first, I'm waiting. Out comes Jimmy. And he goes, well, there you go again, Oos. There goes Roman Reigns. Well on in his mouth in that ring. ECW champion, head of the table, tribal chief, all of that. Well, good. I like that you're comfortable, Roman. Because I've proven what I'm willing to do to become ECW champion, to become head of the table. I betrayed my own brother, Roos. Me and him ain't ever gonna see eye to eye again. It's all because of that. Because of that championship right over your shoulder there, Roos, that belongs to me. You see, I spent all those years shadowing you because I didn't know right from wrong, Roos. But now I see clear as day what I need to do. I need to put my own twin brother in the dirt. I need to put my own cousin in the dirt. And at WrestleMania, you're going to be looking at a new ECW champion. And a new head of the table. And it won't be Roman Reigns, and damn sure it won't be Jey Uso. It's going to be me. Jimmy. Out comes Jay. He goes, Jay, or Jimmy. Nah, when you first kicked me in the face back at the Elimination Chambers, I felt betrayed. You know, my own flesh and blood turning on me. But now, I understand it all. Because you want to prevent me from becoming just like Roman Reigns. When you said that to me, you looked me in the eyes and you said, Jay, trust me. I'm doing this for you for a split second. I believed you, Oos. But then I see you coming out here. I see you taking shots at the Tribal Chiefs, and you want to be ECW champion. You want to be the head of the table. You want to lead this bloodline. And I say this was never about me becoming Roman Reigns and you being worried about what that championship would do to me. This was about you getting your baby brother out the way so you could rule the kingdom, Oos. And now, here we stand. Brother, cousin. WrestleMania 40 ECW Championship. Lights are on bright. Biggest WrestleMania of all time. I'm going to be heading to Philadelphia. Those fans, they ain't going to be saying head of the table. They're going to be cheering for Jimmy. We're going to have 80,000 screaming, yeet. And Jimmy, I forgive you. I understand your concern. You don't want me to become like Roman Reigns. It's fine, I don't want to become like Roman Reigns either. But at next week, when I stand here ECW champion, who's you're going to see what I'm like as champion. You can watch from afar and think about how you could have been a part of this ride, who's we could have been champion together. But now, you've made your own bed, Jimmy. It's time for you to lay in it. And then Heyman steps and goes, well, wasn't that a fitting family reunion we had in the ring here? But you see, I see my tribal chief, I see Jimmy, I see Jay. That, to me, is not a full family reunion. Because Usos, bold of you to assume that both of you can even make it to WrestleMania. That's when Solo wanders through the crowd in his hoodie. You know, people trying to hide who he is. And we see both Usos sort of like look at him, and they both sort of like stand back to back, ready for Solo to get in. When Roman drops Jimmy Uso with a Superman punch, Solo gets into the ring, him and Roman 2-on-1, Jay. You know, Solo takes him down with a big kick. Roman spears Jimmy, locks him in the guillotine, tosses his body to the outside, and then Solo and Roman hit that spike and spear combo on Jay, laying him out. Heyman goes, well, you see, while Solo Sikoa may not be a part of the ECW roster, at WrestleMania, all three brands are under one roof, and triple threat rules mean no disqualification. And Solo knows his place in this family tree. It's not to rebel, it's not to get the egos and think that you should be leading the family, no. Solo's job is to protect his tribal chief. Solo's job is to go to Philadelphia, stand side by side with Roman Reigns, and ensure he leaves as the ECW champion. And with the Usos separated, well, I say good luck trying to stop him. And so Roman Solo and Heyman walk out together as both Usos recover from the beatdown. We then get a quick backstage, well, not backstage, a pre-tape segment. It's Matt Cardona and Kurt Hawkins. You know, they're paying a trip to IKEA. They're getting tables. They're buying their own fancy tables for WrestleMania against the Dudleys. You know, they spray paint the names Bubba and Devon on them, and they go, "Yeah, these are gonna be great. You know, we're gonna beat those damn Dudleys out and prove we are the most extreme team in the history of WrestleMania." And then him and Kurt Hawkins leave. You know, they've got a bunch of weapons in a trolley. But it's just like everyday household appliances they get from IKEA. Because, you know, they're Matt Cardona and Kurt Hawkins. 82 rated opener. A lot of people off their game here tonight. I guess they're sort of coasting it in for WrestleMania. But yeah, Nakamura is the one who picks up the win. He defeats Mustafa Ali, Joe Hendry, and Ronnie Hughes in 12:44 when Shinsuke pins Joe Hendry with the Kinshasa, tragically. Our boy takes the L here tonight. 79 for Ali, 75 for Shinsuke, 70 for Hendry, and a 78 for Ronnie Hughes. And yeah. So Ichiban get this win, I believe. It was Braun who won last week, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm positive it was Braun. And then, yeah. So they get a win apiece. You know, the champions and the Hurt Business not picking up a win in these Fatal 4-Ways, so they haven't really got the momentum heading into this match. But you know, should be a riot anyway. And then get a quick backstage segment. Liv Morgan and Florence meet up. I say, you know, we find ourselves in very similar territory tonight, you know. WrestleMania this Saturday. I risked it all, you know. I could have chosen anybody to challenge at WrestleMania, but I purposefully went out of my way to get my revenge on Julia. I went out of my way to come to this brand because I felt this brand felt most like my home. And tonight, I've got the chance to put the statement nail in the coffin in that tag team match. So trust me, if it comes down to it, let me get that win tonight. And Liv goes, you can have the win tonight. Because as long as just leave a piece of Shida there for me, make sure she gets to WrestleMania, because on the biggest stage of them all, the Heart of Extreme, I'm gonna make her cry. So yeah, that's our main event. The two Japanese women against these two blondes. You know, civil war right now. They then get a 79 rated segment. It's another pre-tape. You know, obviously it is because Ali was in the match earlier on tonight. It's from earlier in the week. Ali and Cedric, you know, just sitting in Lincoln Financial Field in the stands. You know, it's empty apart from them two. And he goes, Cedric, do you remember 6 years ago? 6 years ago when WWE's Cruiserweight division was in the toilet and we needed to crown a new Cruiserweight champion. A tournament was held and two men were entrusted with representing 205 Live on the grandest stage of them all. That was you and I, Cedric. And we tore the house down that night. And you won. You were the better man that night. But from that day on, me and you, we sort of became the heart and soul of that brand. We created a bond that night, Cedric. And ever since that day, you know, we've had different trajectories here in WWE. I've had a lot of big WrestleMania moments over the past few years. But this, sitting here with you as ECW Tag Team Champion, looking down at this arena that will be filled in just under a week with screaming fans watching us defend Tag Team Championships. Well, that's pretty cool. Cedric goes, yeah, you know, Heart and Soul back in 2018, it meant a whole different thing than it did now. To then, we were two men trying to make a statement and make people tune in and pay attention to this division that had long been overlooked. Now, we share a bond. It's that heart and soul that carried us from the very bottom, from obscurity, all the way to WrestleMania. We got three tough tag teams to face off with. but I've got a feeling we're going to be alright. 76. Ruby Riott, in standard Ruby Riott fashion, you know, starts off happy, ends sadistic, and ends up beating Shotzi with feet on ropes or something. Some sort of, like, nefarious victory. And yeah, 75 for Ruby, 63 for Shotzi. Again, both these women in the Battle Royal at WrestleMania. Will one of them walk away victorious? Who knows? And then get a quick backstage segment. Well, not backstage. Training segment. ZSJ and Tech is training, you know, talking a lot of shit. He goes, boys, I know you've seen what I've got to face at WrestleMania. Kyle O'Reilly, he's got a bit cuckoo, you know. I've fought Kyle for years. Me and him have wrestled in empty halls. And now I've wrestled at WrestleMania, you know. It would be a cool story, but this ain't Kyle O'Reilly I'm wrestling. This is some idiot prancing around thinking he's some god. And he ain't. He thinks he's a god, what? Because he can wrestle well in that ring. Well, guess what? So do I. You don't see me bragging about it. WrestleMania. I'm gonna shove God's head up his ass. And I'm gonna retain this championship. And expose Kyle O'Reilly on the grandest stage of them over what he is. That's just a dickhead in a white coat. 80 rated tag. Bobby Lashley and Damon Kemp pick up the win. Lashley spears Emerson Frost in 10:53. 70 for Emerson, 73 for Ken Kobain, 68 for Damon Kemp, and an 80 for Big Bob. And yeah, he gets the win over the other two members of the Grand Jury here tonight. It'll be him and Priest one-on-one at WrestleMania. Let's see, you know, who comes out on top there in that what should be wild brawl. Then get a sit down, like a video of Dudley sat in a coffee shop, you know, drinking a coffee when Cesaro sits down next to him in his suit, sunglasses. He's got a coffee himself. He goes, you know, last year at WrestleMania, I came so close to being World Heavyweight Champion. And this year, it's looking like the Battle Royal for me. And Cesaro goes, hey. Sure, you know, WrestleMania, you know, you're looking for the biggest match you could possibly have at WrestleMania, but being in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, you know, this is the 10th anniversary of that match. You know who won the first one? Me. Hell, I'm in that match this year, and I'm gonna, on the 10-year anniversary of my first win, I'm gonna win it again. Because that trophy, when you think of that trophy, you think of one man, and that's me. So Dudley, if you're in the Battle Royal this year, best of luck. May the best man win. He goes, you know what? I can respect that. May the best man win. Cordial handshake, you know. These two men who get along, you know, shaking hands. May the best man win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. But Cesaro, of course, a little bit disrespected that Dudley would be like, oh, I'm just in the Battle Royal. Because, you know, Cesaro pioneered that match in many ways. So, yeah. But can he become the first ever two-time winner of it? We'll have to find out at WrestleMania. 86 rated tag team match. It's announced like this could be the last time we see the Paragon team up. That's why I specifically picked Adam Cole and Bobby Roode, because like even if the Paragon falls apart, the Fritz brothers will stay together. So, you know, yeah. So it's Adam Cole and Bobby Roode against Angel Garza and Andrade. And it is actually Andrade and Garza who pick up the win. Because Dolph Ziggler runs in, he hits a super kick on Adam Cole. And then Andrade hits him with the DDT. And he pins Adam Cole. 78 for Bobby Roode, 90 for Adam Cole, 92 for Andrade, and 83 for Garza. After the match, Ziggler, he gets in the ring again. He drops Adam Cole with another super kick. And then as the Fritz brothers and Bobby Roode and JC Jane get into the ring, he slides outside. He grabs a microphone. He goes, hey, Adam. You know, nice little story you've got going on there. Well, I've got a story for you. It's the story of the Paragon. You know, you're telling the story over and over again how you want to try and revitalize your career and these guys' careers and take them to the top. Well, I've got the next chapter of the story right here, Adam. Let me just turn the page. Oh, it's blank. Because, you know, last year, Cody Rhodes finished his story at WrestleMania. And this year, you're sorely mistaken if you think I'm drawing in your sorry mistake of a group. This year it's your story that ends. Baby. He drops the mic and then heads to the back. 81 rated main event. Again, these women's matches have been fine, but like nothing outstanding. It's Liv's fault. Her gimmick's getting stale, and she's obviously not as good as everybody else in this match, and I gave it too much time. But Florence and Liv do pick up the win here tonight. Liv, I imagine, the finish is, Julia and Florence are the legal. Like, Florence is down when Julia tags in, and she, stands over her, starts, mocking her and kicking her and shit. And Liv rushes around the ring. She grabs Shida's leg, yanks her off the apron, and the two of them brawl around ringside. And then Julia gets distracted for a little bit, turns around. Florence drops her with Rainflow, and pins the ECW Women's Champion. Her first pinfall defeat since before she became... This is her first as champion. Her first loss, I think, of any kind, actually, since winning the belt at SummerSlam. And yeah, the Royal Rumble winner has pinned the ECW Women's Champion here tonight. 83 for Florence, 90 for Julia, 79 for Shida, 72 for Liv. And then we just end the show, Florence picking up the ECW Women's title, pointing at the WrestleMania sign. Could this be the scene in 4 nights as Florence challenges Julia for the ECW Women's Championship? 87 rated show. Short, pretty sweet. And yeah, that's the last we'll see of ECW. We have one more show before WrestleMania, and that is SmackDown, which we'll see two face-to-faces, one with The Rock and LA Knight, and another with CM Punk and Seth Rollins. See you then.